Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning meditation. It'll be 20 minutes and then it'll be time to get ready for service at 10:30. Start with a simple Buddhist prayer. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. as I welcome you back into the room from a beautiful moment of peace, meditation, and connection with who you are. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. And may all beings find peace. Have a blessed morning, wonderful service, and see you back here in 10 minutes. And so it is.
Hello there. Before we begin our service, we're going to light a candle for peace. And this is a very auspicious day. It's December 7th, 2025. And 84 years ago today, literally about a half an hour ago, was when the attack on Pearl Harbor began. So let's bring that into our gratitude for the peace that we have today and that we're not involved in something like that. So with the lighting of this candle, we bring into this room the peace that is the foundation of the deeper truth that runs through everything. When the world outside feels uncertain, let us take this moment of silence together to honor our feelings and open our hearts to this peace and let it shine out into the world. All right, as we had the intro of while my guitar gently weeps for joy, let the service begin.
Good morning, CSL San Jose. Good morning. Please rise and join us in our opening song, God of Wonders, as we talk about the God of all creation that is in us and out of us and beyond. God of all creation, of water, earth, and sky. The heavens are your tabernacle. Glory to our God on high. Oh, God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy, holy. All the universe, your majesty. You are holy, you are holy, holy. God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth. Early in the morning, I will celebrate the light. When I stumble in the darkness, I will call your name by night. Oh, God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, you are holy, holy. God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the God of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the God of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the God of heaven and earth. Oh, God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, you are holy, holy, holy. Universe declares your majesty. You are holy, you are holy, holy, holy. God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth, God of heaven and earth.
My name is Ron Wade. I am a member and a practitioner here, and in the spirit of wonder, I welcome you to this Sunday service. And as we open our service, I want to acknowledge that As Isaac Newton said, we stand on the shoulders of all who came before us, whether it was our grandparents who had to face World War II, or whether it is the indigenous peoples, the Tamia Nation that used to populate this area, that we respect all of those who came before us and we acknowledge their wisdom and their talents. So now I'd like to call our practitioner of the day, Karen Fedor, up to call us into service.
Good morning. I invite you to take a deep breath, get centered, and let the sound of the bowl resonate. Let's pray. In this moment, with this breath, we recognize the one energy, the one light, the one love present within each and every one of us. Present in the moment, in the air, in the breath, connecting us to ourselves, to each other, to this life. Knowing that God is everywhere, present in everything. That it is perfect, infinite love. So we let go and let in this light, this love, allowing everything to unfold absolutely perfectly. Releasing. Grateful, knowing all is well. I let this go, knowing it's perfect, and so it is.
So it is.
Those of you who watch regularly notice that the bowl is on the other side of the stage today. You know, the truth is that we all belong to each other. And because we all belong to each other, this calls us to be inclusive as we celebrate our uniqueness. Each of us is unique, and yet we're also all part of this one thing that's called God, Spirit, the universe, Source, whatever you want to call it. So as we celebrate this uniqueness, we also affirm that who we are, our magnificence, is so much greater than any label we can attach to ourselves to describe one of our characteristics. We're bigger than that. So our community is a place of belonging, calling all of us into our spiritual magnificence. We're companions on this journey, expanding love's expression as we learn to become the presence of peace. And as Ram Dass says, we are all walking each other home. So we're a safe space where hope and courage are explored and new beginnings happen through the radical acceptance of who and whose we are. Welcome home. So I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the approximately 30 volunteers who come together every week to enable a Sunday service like this. It truly takes a village. Thank you. Okay, Do we have anyone here for the first time? Okay, so there might be a few shy people here. All right. So we do know that there's a lot of different ways and places for spiritual nourishment, and we're grateful that you all are here with us today. And if there's someone hiding out in the audience that doesn't feel like they want to raise their hands, there's a contact card under the seat in front of you. You can fill it out and drop it in the offertory basket, or you can send it. You can step outside in Fellowship Hall after service where there's some pretty good coffee and deliver it to the concierge desk. We would really like to keep in touch. Alrighty, it is now time for our statement of being. If you will stand. And the slide will be on the screen, and please repeat after me. We believe that life is good, that God is all there is, and that love is the only power. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family, bringing the gifts of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our purpose is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal God through education, music, prayer, service, generosity, and play. Play with somebody near you. Okie dokie. Recess is over. Recess is over. It's not yet nap time, but recess is over. Time to return to your seats. Our featured artists today are led by our co-musical director, Reece Whitaker. And she is accompanied today by our wonderful praise team and band. Take it away.
Oh, so good to see all of you this morning. We are singing Use Me by Ricky Byers. Yes, I hope that you enjoy this song. And if you know it, sing along. All right? I used to think that God was the sun, God is the sun, but God so
Thank you. Thank you. You're going to want to lean in to our featured speaker today, our very own Reverend Marcia Bencala, as we start the monthly theme of December, Shedding Our Skin. But before we begin to lean into that, make sure your little devices are on silent. There's a little slide right on the corner there. Make sure they're silent, please. And now with Reverend Marcia, our very own Reverend Marcia Bencala, she will be sharing her message, Surrender to What?
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Reece, for that song. If you listen to the words, that song is all about surrender. And today I'm going to pick up where Reverend Nadine left off a few weeks ago in her talk, Let It Fall Apart, where at the very end of that message, she said, when you let things fall apart, you move from dualistic, good, bad, yes, no thinking, and you move into your spirit nature. You surrender. And she left it at that, except she did say that some people think surrender is an icky word. She didn't say she thought that. And I'm here today to tell you that I believe it's one of the most beautiful words there is. Surrender. Okay, let me begin with a memory of when I was about 6 years old. I had an experience which I think now was that feeling of surrender, of awe. So when I was 6, we moved from Denver to Hawaii. And when I was in Denver, I had just started swimming lessons in this beautiful indoor pool with warm water. And my mother signed me up for swimming lessons in Hawaii, and no, it was cold, but I had to swim in the ocean. I had to learn to swim in the ocean. And in my little girl brain, I saw these huge waves of 1 foot, 2 feet, and I was sure that they were tsunamis. And so the instructor was great. The instructor tried to convince me that if I just let go, he could hold my body and I would float like I used to know how to float. Well, I totally resisted that. You know, I wanted my little feet on that sandy bottom, and that's where they were going to stay. So then what happened is he continued to say things like, trust me, it's all right, just relax, the ocean will hold you. And I'm sure it was a long time between my fear and his patience. It seemed like it. But eventually I started to let go. And he put his hand under my back. And something miraculous happened. I floated. And there I was. This is what I remember. I was now looking up at the blue sky, not an indoor swimming pool. I was looking at the clouds. And I felt the ocean gently rocking me. I felt glorious. I felt free. It was that moment when I stopped fighting, when I allowed the ocean to do what it knew how to do then, which was to hold me up. So this little moment contains everything I'm going to tell you about in the next 20 minutes. When you release fear, you release control, and you trust that the divine nature is going to work for you, it does. It's always been there. Surrender is a doorway into that for us. So in a spiritual context, surrender is not failing. It is not giving up. It's not being a pushover. And it's not running out into the forest because you can't take what's going on in your life. Surrender is not collapse. It's also not being passive. And it's not abandoning responsibility to humanity. Instead of giving up, surrender is giving over, turning over, have that conscious willingness to allow the divine to be your guide, to use this creative principle, allowing the divine to move through us. Ernest Holmes said, quote, "We are here to let something greater than we are govern our lives." Mystics say it their own way. Eckhart Tolle says, "Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life." So when we give over, we are letting go. Do you know what we're letting go of? Our ego. Our ego, which we allow to be our primary navigator, right? To take charge of our life. We let go of external things that give us, we think, value, but they're finite. Money, a nice home, how we look, whatever that might be. We let go of our stories of the past. You know, my story was I'm a perfectionist. We let go of that. We let go of anxiety about the future, which is sometimes difficult to do these days. We let go of feelings of separation and lack. We let go, see if this sounds familiar to you, the need to be perfect, the need to be right, the need to be certain, and that insistence that we know how to manage our life better than Spirit does. We give up the need to control. Brene Brown calls this counterfeit control, and I really like that name. So, when we let go of counterfeit control, in reality, we're stepping into the alignment of a higher order. We give over to accepting life to show up just as it shows up. Allowing me, you, to be exactly who I am, who you are. Allowing all others to be just as they are. That's not easy. And we trust that all of this and all of us are being guided by that divine source that leads us to more harmony, to good. So at this point, when we let go, surrender starts opening up within us a spaciousness to transform. I really felt this during COVID as we saw what happened, which was COVID, and we didn't know what was going to happen next. And if you were reading spiritual things, not even spiritual things then, they were talking about the unknown. This is the time when I learned about the liminal space, the space in between. It's a very powerful place for reflection and for new beginnings. So what happens then? We have given over, we've let go, we've accepted, and now we've stepped into this place of the unknown. What happens when we're in that space? Well, at first, it may feel very uncomfortable because we are giving up what was comfortable to us. And what we find is that small self, that struggling self, starts to fall away a bit by bit. We become less reactive. We become more peaceful. We yield to that same intelligence that is holding that sun up in the sky. That's amazing. To that intelligence that created this body, right? That knows how to breathe, that has life. And I don't think about it, right? And that puts us into that natural flow, which creates more groundedness for us. We enter into this consciousness of oneness, and not necessarily perfection, but of our wholeness. Our wholeness. What I like to say is that we stop trying to use Spirit and we allow Spirit to use us. So life stops being this transaction, these activities, success, or whatever, and it becomes the gift, our gift. So in preparing for this talk, I ran into this extraordinary person who has his own story of surrender. His name is Ben Saunders, and he's a pioneering polar explorer. He's one of the few people that has actually skied, get this, solo across the Arctic to the North Pole and to the South Pole. So here's his story. 2004, he decided he was going to go across the Arctic to the North Pole. Now you have to remember that the Arctic is an ocean. It really is an ocean. It's covered by an ice cap. And that ice cap is not connected to land. Okay, that's a key point in this story. So he set out alone, and what he did, that meant he had nobody behind him. He had to drag on a sled all his supplies for this journey, and it started out being 400 pounds that he was skiing with. So, he would do this day after day. And one day he woke up to realize that this drifting ice had actually gone backwards from the North Pole. So he was actually farther from the North Pole than he had been the day before. His whole day's progress was erased. Reality was saying to him, you think you're in control. You are not. And at first he said he fought it through anger, through willpower, through determination. And the more he resisted, the more the Arctic was telling him that it was futile for him to be in control. Then came his breakthrough. He realized he could not outmuscle the ice. The Arctic was going to shift when it shifted, whether he liked it or not. He said later, I did not conquer the Arctic. I surrendered to it. What happened is something softened inside of him, and he slowed down, literally slowed down. And what happened when he did that, he started to hear and feel the environment. He started to notice these subtle clues that he had never noticed before. He listened to the wind and listened to the snow and listened to the ice beneath his skis, and eventually he realized that as he listened, the environment could guide him to the North Pole. So he, instead of forcing his way, he allowed the environment to guide him. And this didn't weaken him, it actually strengthened him, and he found it gave him even more physical endurance for this journey. He shared with an author, Sarah Luzis, that this was a turning point in this journey, an inner shift from forcing to letting life move through him. And she called this amor fati, which is Latin for the love of fate, the love of just what is. This lesson I found profound. First of all, let me tell you, he didn't make it to the North Pole that time because of melting snow, water. I told you it was an ocean. But he did make it to the South Pole eventually the same way, skiing all by himself, 1,800 miles, which is over 70 marathons back to back, to tell you what he did. So surrender is not about giving up. It's about stop fighting with the reality that is in front of you so that something deeper can carry you. Luckily, you and I don't have to go to the Arctic to figure out and experience surrender. Some people do have this awakening, enlightening through grace of some sort, and they surrender and they feel that oneness of spirit. Others get to surrender through some trauma, through some tragic event, that where they essentially feel like they have no choice but to surrender. I think many of us, me included, actually get to surrender through a series of conscious choices, moment by moment by moment. Choices to surrender. So for me, surrender isn't like one heroic leap. Instead, it is a spiral. It is life itself. Life is a spiral when you think about it, right? It's a process of creation, of release, renewal, and coming back to new creation. Think of a tree. A tree creates leaves. The leaves get released, and then they get renewed and come back, and it's just that circle of life. So it's this outward or upward journey that we're upon, and when we trust this journey, we allow ourselves to be carried to the next turn of the spiral. We step out into our human experience, that beauty and all the challenges, we learn from it, and then we return to center. So we're really leaning. It's interesting, Ron used the word leaning in this talk, because to me, I feel like I'm leaning into surrender. So I've identified six ways that make up surrender, 6 spiritual practices. So you can almost think of surrender as spiritual practices on steroids, because all of these are included in that. The first thing that we do is we become still, because surrender begins in silence. That's the first moment. Think of Ben Saunders. When he slowed down, he could hear the cues, those subtle cues. So it begins in silence, which means a meditation practice, or that you just start your morning out with a few minutes of silence itself. And then during the day, you return to that silence, maybe for 30 seconds, maybe for a minute. Secondly, we release ego's illusion of control. So you want to notice where you're gripping. And that means to me, you listen to your body. You can feel it here, you can feel it here, you might feel it elsewhere. But when you notice that, make a mental note of that. Go, what, am I trying to control something? What might that be? And each day, maybe take some time to say, what will it take for me to release that? Third, you trust the deep current of life, knowing that there is this presence always moving through you. And the way I help myself remember that is I have what I call a miracle journal, which I started a long time ago. I write down synchronicities. I write down things that happen that I'm in awe of happening. Anything that when I am wondering where Spirit is, I can go back to and go, yes, yes, yes. Fourth, we yield our personal will. This one might be the hardest. You have to realize that we're not giving up an identity, but we're aligning with our deeper self. So you can ask yourself during the day, what is mine to do here? Instead of reacting, what is mine to do here? You can pray. You can also sing that song, Use Me. Oh God, command my hands. What must I do? Command my life. I'm here for you. Show me all that I must do. Fifth, we can let life be just as it is. Take one breath and say, this too belongs. Let people be just as they are. This is one outcome of our compassion book study in 4 weeks. It's only 4 weeks, and I would tell you the last time we got together, I think me included, mentioned how we were allowing people to be who they were, that we realized we could not control them. And number 6 is open your heart. Open your heart, because it's really our heart that connects us with spirit. Our heart informs our mind. Our heart informs our thought. And then we're back at step 1 again. Be silent. So, just summarizing those. Become still, let go of control, trust life, yield your will, let life be as it is, open your heart. So I'm going to give you now, not quite as dramatic as an example, but an example of my life when I surrendered. So I'm at the end of like 4.5 years of caregiving and then taking care of my parents. My mom died in January of 23, 95. My dad died last year, October, 96. And after he passed, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of other things started in my life. All of a sudden, now we had this house that I had to clean out. I had bills, and I had the trust I had to execute. And then I had to actually sell the house. It was just overwhelming for me, especially because it wasn't just that. All these little activities that I had to keep track of, mountains of them kept arising every day. And this is when the surrender happened. So during this time were the LA fires. During this time was when I got contacted by my parents' homeowners insurance company that they had canceled the homeowners insurance. So I found out their reason why, convinced them I was going to fixed it, which I mentioned the fires because it was included cutting down some trees and branches, right? Which kind of makes sense. Convinced them I did that. They gave me the insurance back. 2 weeks later, they canceled it again. And it was at that time when I give up. I'm done. I cannot keep up this pace. And I sat and thought, went into my own version of prayer meditation. And what came to me is, this too shall take care of itself. And I wrote that down. I posted it around my house. That became my mantra. I felt so right about that. A few weeks later, the day before we were to put my parents' house on the market, the stock market that had been going like this went like this. April 2nd. I know the date very well. The realtor called me and said, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to sell the house? And I was so glad that the first thing that came to me was my mantra. This too shall take care of itself. And I realized in that moment that this sale of the house was not about the stock market. It wasn't about tariffs. It wasn't about a for sale sign going up. It was literally about the love that my parents had created in that house for over 50 years. It was the love that they welcomed as we brought our own children into the house. And it was time for us to release that house so that some other family could come in and create their own love. And I tell you, that's exactly what happened. This entire process was orchestrated by something higher than me. There was no way I could have orchestrated what happened. This is what surrender is about. So as I close now, I want to now open up this to a wider lens. Because surrender isn't just about an individual practice. It's really also a collective practice. Because the same human beliefs that hold us individually back from knowing the power of spirit, the need to control, the need to protect, the need to get more, the need to build fear of other people, the need to be divisive. All these things are the same beliefs that we see out picturing in our collective, keeping us struggling with loving each other and struggling in grief, actually. So if I paraphrase Einstein's quote, we can't solve our problems with the same consciousness that we have created them. So human will, we don't need any more human will. I think what we need is more of us aligned to that infinite power, that infinite good, that reminds us we are all one. We are of the same source. And therefore, we are spirit in form. And when we surrender in the collective, we stop contributing to the fear. We stop reinforcing the feelings of isolation, separation, loneliness, and we stop reacting to what we see in social media and stop reacting from the same consciousness that has been held to create what we're seeing. So surrender doesn't make us passive. I claim that it actually can make us much clearer in understanding what we stand for. Surrender can also make us listen to understand the other, because there is no other. Surrender can make us receptive then to new solutions as things break down, something better. Surrender can also make us available to knowing what the right action is for us to take, the right action based on love and compassion and kindness. So, this week, I want you to consider your practice of surrender. Just consider, stop pushing, start listening, let go of control, be still, and wait for Spirit to guide you in some way, and be then ready for what comes to you as right action. So surrender is not about us stopping to participate in the world. To me, it's actually our truest participation. And with that, all things are made new. So let's pray. In this moment, I know that there is only one. This one life, one power, one spirit that goes beyond all words that I can use. It is the creation, the creative principle behind all that is invisible and visible. It is that which created our galaxy. It is that which created ladybugs and butterflies. And so I know for us that each of us are that unique individual expression of this creation. And with that, we are always one, although we may not realize it in appearance. And so in this moment, I know when we surrender, we are guided. When we surrender, we are expressing the highest form of love. When we surrender, we are sustained in ways that we cannot even imagine. And so with that, I give great thanks for this awareness, this consciousness rising higher in each and every one of us across our nation, around the world, wherever that may go. And so I always say this in my prayer: I surrender. I let go and I let God be God. I release all of this into that power, knowing that all is well. And we anchor this prayer together by saying, and so it is.
Yeah. As we surrender to the reality that we are all connected, we rise. We rise together. Clap hands. Ooh. Here we go. We've all got to rise and reach up for the sky. Not let life pass us by. Not let life seem so shy. And if you just believe, you will realize, you will sense it's time. We've all got to rise. We all need to shine and do the best we can. Reach out to understand. Reach out a helping hand. And if you just believe, we are what we say. Hiding from ourselves, hiding from our dreams. Rise and shine, reach up for the sky. Let your light live inside your mind. Fly away and find who you are. Find your own star and shine. And fly both near and far. Follow our inner star and be the peace we are. If you just believe, you will realize, you will think it's time. We've all got to rise and shine. Reach out for the sky. Let your light live inside your mind. Fly away and find who you are. Find your own star and shine. Clap your hands. Oh, find your star. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Right here. We've all got to rise.
Thank you, praise team. Thank you, Reverend Marcia, for that really interesting message that I leaned into. I got two things from it. One is there's a surrender with a small s, which kind of means giving up or saying uncle. And there's a surrender with a capital S, which is surrendering into the flow of the power that created a universe that takes care of itself. I'm going to pay attention to the capital S surrender. Next week, we are going to continue our December theme of shedding your skin. And there will be a special Sunday panel hosted by Jennifer Bick, the lead of our youth and family ministry. And she's also a ministerial intern, let's not forget. So the youth and teens and Jennifer Bick will be speaking on With Youth Comes Wisdom. I am anxious to hear what they have to say. And we'll have the praise team and house band with us as well. So it is now that time in our service for the offertory, for the conscious giving, and it's an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. So even though we know it's better to give than receive, it helps sometimes to receive first so that we can give from a place of abundance. So we invite you to receive a blessing of joy from your higher self as the baskets will begin in a moment. And keep this blessing of joy with you all week long to remember how much you are loved. So once you've drawn your joy blessing out of the smaller basket, you can then place your offertory into the larger basket that completes the law of circulation through giving back. Ushers, will you please circulate the two baskets? I invite you to invoke the feeling of gratitude for life's abundance right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you.
We're singing Silent Night. This is a reimagined version of Silent Night through a Centers for Spiritual Living New Thought version, and we hope you enjoy. Because we've surrendered. Yes, that's right. Surrender to any key. Silent night, sacred night, all is calm, love's pure light, centered here in presence divine, peace within our hearts aligned, rest in infinite peace.
has power. So please join in blessing the offertory by saying together our prosperity affirmation. The words are up on the screen. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief, and does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And last but not least, this is my favorite part of the service when I'm the host. It's called announcements. I just love it. Okay, the first thing is that our 2026 membership pledge drive continues until the end of the year, which is also the end of this month. And here to give an insight into the value of being a committed member and supporter of CSL San Jose is Susanne Mulcahy.
Thanks, Ron. A little insight, a little practical magic, a little information. You know, I've been thinking about what's been true for me that might be true for you from the time 14 years ago when I walked through those doors and heard somebody say, "Welcome home." I'm wondering, in the last year, have you ever nodded during a Sunday talk like, wow, they're talking to me? Or stood up and clapped with the beat and walked out of here with that, I needed that feeling, that uplift? Or reached out to a dear friend who was not someone you knew before you got here? Yeah. So all those things have certainly happened for me, and I trust that those kinds of transformations have happened for you as well. And each year, we ask a recommitment of the circulation of support of us to you and you to us, and it's all us, right? It's all us. And we have the practical needs of managing and operating and supporting a thriving spiritual community. And so this is the time of year when we ask you to make that pledge. And it doesn't matter how many zeros there are, it's important to make that explicit. Now, I could do a whole other insight talk about my thesis professor, Sister Anne Marie Mongovan at Santa Clara University, and my religious studies major. And she was all of about 4'8" and said one of the most powerful things. You know, there's just those few quotes in a life that stick with you, and this one is, ritual makes the implicit explicit. So this is our ritual of making the implicit, our commitment, our desire to circulate, which is both receiving, as Ron said. Sometimes we have to receive first before we can give. That just makes perfect sense. And if you've been receiving this year or this week or today, we need that tangible, explicit ritual now. And that comes in the form of this paper that you all have found on your chairs or the chair next to you. We've been talking about the pledge campaign and the membership drive for a few weeks now, and we've been sending it out in email and virtual ways, but paper makes the implicit explicit. I like paper, even though I do stuff online. So we just wanted to give everyone a reminder in this way, this vehicle, as to what's needed. And I also want to say that last year we started something that we will continue, and that is we would like you to recommit, re-ritualize your I'm a member here every year. And the reason that's important, particularly because now, is in this coming year, we've been doing this for a while, we are calling to us our next spiritual director. And we need to do that with the grounded reality and understanding of how many members do we have? What does our membership look like? What does our budget look like? That kind of tangible transparency calls the person to us who's already walking their way here. So I'm going to be out. The board emerita is up over by the concierge. That's me, and I will be there to answer your questions. I imagine Karol might be hovering around as well, and I want to answer any questions you have about this. And I'm not going to go box by box right now, but I am here to answer your questions, as are other board members. And I just have to give a shout out because data. Some people are just skilled at tracking data. And I want us to just raise a hand right here, right now, just like this with me. Raise your hand. I'm not making you pledge anything, I promise. But and I want you to imagine the faces of Karol Field and Nisa Eubanks. Nisa's usually online. We love you, Nisa. And I want you to send thanks and love to them because they manage an extraordinary amount of data for us, and we couldn't do what we do without them. So thank you to both of you. So I'll see you outside if you have any questions.
Thank you, Susanne. And then for those interested, tomorrow night, and it's on Zoom, you need to sign up for it ideally to get the information. There's more information about being a member here tomorrow night. It's called the Virtual Quick Start Session on December 8th, which is tomorrow night. To learn more about our teachings and how you can participate here. Alrighty, next. There's a wreath-making workshop. We have a breadth of experientials here for you. There's a wreath-making workshop on December 12th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. that is being offered by Michelle Young. The investment in the workshop is $35. The basic materials are provided, but you need to bring some ornaments and fun things from your house to personalize your wreath. And you'll end up with something you can hang on your door. The Holiday Boutique is happening next Sunday, the 14th, and the following Sunday, the 21st, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., not 9:30 p.m., 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Fellowship Hall. You can pick up gifts that are made by the youth and family, and all the proceeds benefit youth and family. And for those of you who have not a green thumb, but you don't wrap very well, they have wrapping service provided too. So you can just self-contained, ready to go gift. Collect a few. And then on December 14th from 12 to 3 p.m., Deb Dake is going to be offering her very popular soul collage workshop. That is an investment of $35, and all of the materials are provided. Both people who collage and people who don't know what collage is are welcome. And then also, as we get into this holiday season and also into the solstice, which is coming up on the 21st, on December 20th, we have Walk the Labyrinth to bring in the light at the winter solstice at the Rosicrucian Park with your guide, Reverend Maureen Ross. Pre-register for $25 and enjoy the ritual from 12 noon until 2 p.m. Alrighty, we're getting into a couple of cool little things here. We have a Christmas Eve candle lighting service on December 24th from 5 to 6:30. All are welcome. You'll be home and out in time, for Santa to make it to your house after you go to bed. Okay, so come and celebrate the joy and peace of this season with Reverend Nadine in the house, with Reece, Whitaker, Reverend Queen Michelle, and the CSL practitioners for this calm, soothing, heartwarming experience of music, song, and contemplative meditation. New Year's Eve burning bowl and candle lighting service. I don't think we're going to burn a bowl. I think we'll have the magic paper that you let go of what you don't want to bring into the new year on New Year's Eve. It's an annual tradition. Again, on Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve from 5:30 to 7 here. Release the old, welcome the new. A couple of reminders. One is the prayer shawl group is meeting today. And this coming Tuesday, it's Sparkle Bingo at 6:30. I came so close to winning 3 times last time, but I didn't win. But it was still a lot of fun. And the baked goods are tremendous. The baked goods are tremendous as prizes. Alrighty, all of these events, you can find the details at the link on your screen, basically www.cslsj.org, or you can visit the concierge desk in Fellowship Hall, or there's a little corner over there just by the kitchen. We call that the community corner, which has flyers for all of the events, and you can scan the QR code with your phone to get a recording of it. And then speaking of recordings, today's service you can get on YouTube. You can visit on our website. You can visit on Facebook later. Alrighty, one last thing. It's the first Sunday of December, and on the first Sunday of every month, we sing happy birthday to those who have a birthday either the prior month and you weren't here or this month. So if you had a birthday in November, but more specifically December, raise your hand. Anybody? December babies, yay, all right, 3 or 4 in the house. Okay.
Nadine.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, would the youth and teens and the practitioners of the day stand, please? Purple stole, these folks are in service. There's a prayer chapel in the back if you have something you want prayer for, or you want to celebrate something. Remember the law of circulation. Go back there and get a quick prayer. And there's also a prayer box at the back on the way out the door by the window. You can drop a confidential prayer request in there if you wish. And thank you. I would like to hand it over to Karol Field to give us 3 affirmations to take with us this week.
Great. Please join me in standing. And here's some affirmations to think about for the week. I let go the need to control.
I let go the need to control.
This too will take care of itself.
This too will take care of itself.
I surrender and align with infinite power.
I surrender and align with infinite power.
And so it is.
And so it is. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
On behalf of the entire community, we thank you for joining us this Sunday. We wish you a wonderful week ahead. Let's go out together and surrender to the flow of Spirit.